Let me start from the top with FTX. And I'm going to go step by step over what different groups are saying about it. Let me start from the top. Epic Times says this. They say implosion of crypto platform FTX takes down Democrats' second biggest donor after George Soros. And it says the net worth of the founder of the crypto exchange FTX and Democrat megadonor Sam Bankman-Fried plummeted last week, and what the Bloomberg Billionaires Index was its and on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index was its biggest single day wealth plunge for a billionaire. Now it says FTX filed for bankruptcy protection on November 11th after facing a massive liquidity crunch in which users rushed to pull out their money. It was basically a run on the bank, so to speak, and it was a run on the bank, but it's a cryptocurrency exchange. One of the issues you have with banks, they don't actually keep enough. They don't actually keep your money. If everybody were to go to the banks and ask for their money and try to cash in, they wouldn't be able to give it to you. Because typically they're investing your money and so on, or in this case they're massively donating it to Democrats. Let me explain. It says Bankman-Fried, 30, who in a series of posts on Twitter apologized for the turn of events and said he was shocked to see things unravel the way they did, resigned as FTX chief executive on November 11th, just days prior to the FTX meltdown. And Bankman-Fried was estimated to have had a net worth of $15.6 billion with a B, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. It says by November 11th, his net worth had decreased to around $1 billion, with the 94% loss, which is massive, representing the biggest one-day collapse by a billionaire ever, according to Bloomberg. Besides being widely touted as a crypto wonderkind, the 30-year-old Bankman-Fried had pledged to keep only a sliver of his vast wealth and give the rest away to various causes, like the Democrat Party. It says, quote, he was also a Democrat mega donor. Bankman-Fried has donated a total of $39.8 million to Democrats, making him the biggest Democrat individual donor behind financier George Soros and his $128 million mega tally, according to Open Secrets. The FTX founder was a major donor to President Joe Biden's campaign in 2020 and was the main donor to the Protect Our Future PAC, which endorsed a number of Democrat candidates. Now, the one interesting thing you see happening right now, as you watch the second biggest donor to Democrats implode, it just so happens that right after this, Jeff Bezos comes out and announces he's going to basically do the same thing and just only keep a sliver of his wealth, so to speak, and begin massively donating his money as well. It's not quite clear whether Jeff Bezos intends to do what Sam Bankman-Fried was doing, where he just donates a ton to Democrats, but it might be the case. We'll have to see how that happens. In other words, the king is dead, long live the king. Bankman-Fried, being the second biggest donor to Democrats, may have just been replaced in terms of the overall leftist agenda by Jeff Bezos, but we'll see how that plays out. Regardless, this is looking really bad for Democrats in a few different ways. Let me go deeper into this. Zero Hedge had a very interesting article, and they said FTX held just $900 million in liquid assets versus $9 billion in liabilities, as video emerges confirming Alameda knew it was pilfering clients' funds, suggesting that they knew that they were basically stealing people's money. And then massively donating to Democrats. It says, on Friday, we first learned, courtesy of a mystery Twitter account belonging to an anonymous FTX insider, that the now bankrupt crypto exchange held just $900 million in liquid assets, including, among other things, a $7.3 million online bet by Democrat mega donor Sam Bankman-Fried for Trump to lose. Of the $900 million in liquid assets, the largest portion, roughly half, was in the form of a $470 million, So yeah, on Robinhood shares. Remember Robinhood, where people get that little app and you can engage in the stock market? $470 million of Robinhood shares owned by a Bankman-Fried vehicle not listed in Friday's bankruptcy filing, which included 134 corporate entities. The liquid assets represent just 10% of the total assets, including $5.4 billion in semi-liquid and $3.2 billion in illiquid, and is a fraction of the $9 billion in liabilities at FTX, which will now make their way through bankruptcy court for the next several years. Further, it states, of course, and let me explain why that matters. It means they were moving around like $9 billion, but in their own bank, essentially, they only had $900 million. And so they were trading at like a huge, huge margin over the money they actually had. I'll get deeper into this. It says, of course, it's not like they have anything to say that we wouldn't already know. Well, we take that back. Consider the FTX was instrumental in laundering Bitcoin into Ukraine. And further, it states, we do wonder just how much crypto money laundered between the U.S. and Ukraine will emerge as a result of the bankruptcy discovery, and how long until we can safely claim that Sam Bankman didn't fry himself.